Well, when you got 3 feet of.
Wes, can you speak, please?
Yes, I can.
One thing he can do, isn't it?
We're gonna try again.
Speak? Yep.
All right.
You never know what I'm gonna say. Are we back on?
Test, 1, 2.
All right. We approved the minutes. Okay, Brad, we're ready.
Alrighty. The first item on the agenda is petition 2020-MSP-001. This is located on the east side of 1000 West, approximately a quarter mile south of 800 South. It's located in Green Township in the District 2 Commissioner area. Owner of the property is Mabel and William Coffey. The petitioner is Arbor Homes. The request is for preliminary plat approval for Estes Park. Notices were mailed on or before July 3rd. Notices are good. Technical Review Committee did hear this on June 25th and forwarded a favorable recommendation to the Planning Commission. And one little change, they have received Drainage Board approval from Madison County.
Okay.
It is contingent on getting things worked out with the Hamilton County Drainage Board, which they've been in discussions with them for some time. So
On your approval contingent, did you want to add Hamilton County also there?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. The property contains about 45 acres. It's adjacent to 3 major subdivisions: Summer Lake to the east, Ryan Homes at Oakmont to the north in the town of Ingalls, and Britton Falls, which is a Del Webb community to the west in Hamilton County. The property currently is vacant. It was rezoned on April 27th to single and 2-family residential, R3. Part of the agreement with the rezone was that Arbor Homes will pay $1,000 for each building permit, with 1/3 of the money going to fire protection, 1/3 going to public safety, and 1/3 going to the highway department. The plat itself contains 12.43 acres of common area and will include 125 lots. The density on 45.72 acres is 2.73 lots per acre. If you exclude the common area, it comes out to 3.75 lots per acre. The minimum lot square footage is 6,000 square feet. And the developer has agreed to increase the side yard building setback to 6 feet, which they have indicated on the plat. The town of Ingalls will be providing public water, Fall Creek Regional Waste, public sewer. The Green Township Trustee's Office provides fire protection. They currently use Vernon Township Fire Department in Hancock County. And it will be located in the South Madison Community School District. As stated, stormwater will be released towards the northwest corner, which requires Hamilton County Drainage Board approval. And they're currently in the process of working on that. All 125 lots will access stormwater infrastructure. And all storm infrastructure that's located within the right-of-way will be managed by the highway department. Any that's outside of the right-of-way that is not part of the detention ponds will be maintained by the surveyor's office, and the detention ponds will be maintained by the homeowners association. The subdivision will connect with Summer Lake to the east via Constellation Drive and Oakmont to the north via Holton Road. There will be one entrance off of County Road 1000 West, and it'll be directly across from Britton Falls to the west, the entrance to Britton Falls to the west. You can see there's several other items that I've talked about, but I think that's the major talking points. E911 is currently looking at the roads to make sure there's not going to be any concerns with road names. I've noted on page 5 portions of the comprehensive plan and the land use and development code that are part of that get into the requirements of this particular request. The zoning classification in that area, the subject parcel is zoned R3. To the north is the town of Ingalls with the residential use. To the south is conservation residential with a mixed use of residential and agricultural. To the east is a PUD. And to the west is the town of Fishers, Hamilton County, and it's a residential use. The Madison County Thoroughfare Plan defines South 1000 West as an arterial road. That's a 100-foot right-of-way measured 50 feet from the center of the road. Additional requirements, if once this is approved and they have a drainage board approval, they can submit construction plans. And once they have construction plan approval, they can begin constructing the infrastructure within the subdivision. And the final step before they can begin building homes is the final plat. On page 7, you'll see the findings of fact. And the following pages are pictures of the area. If you have any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Looks like there's a low spot right in the center there. I suppose that'll be changed with when they start doing all their drainage. But
Right, when they do the grading, they'll be taking care of that.
it's a natural ravine kind of right down through the center of it. Let's see, did I miss it? Did it have a picture of the pond anywhere? What's the location of the pond?
The pond's going to be in the northwest portion of the development. I believe the acreage of that was around, do you remember the acreage of that common area? That would
That'd be great.
Color image toward the back.
Thank you.
You're around the floor with the shoe.
Thanks, Sean.
You've seen it once.
Colored image toward the back of that packet.
Brad, do you know how large that lot is that's cut out on the southwest corner of that new plat? Do you know how large that is?
Where are we talking about?
This is actually the cutout of what will be the addition.
Oh, the extra, or the piece that's,
Mhm.
I'm not sure the acreage of that. It's actually not part of that 45-acre piece.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just curious, is that existing residence?
I don't believe there's a house on one of those, but there is a house on the southern one. There's actually going to be 2 houses separate from all of the subdivisions that are adjacent to this subdivision. And those parcels are zoned conservation residential. So that requires a type 2 buffer yard to be placed along those sides. And that is indicated in their plans.
And it's in that cutout?
That cutout, I don't believe has a house on it.
And that's not the 2 that you're talking about?
Correct.
Okay.
Looks like there's something there.
Looks like there's a barn or something in there. What's the price point on these homes?
Oh, Sean, come up and answer that.
Okay.
Sean Downey with Arbor Homes, 9225 Harrison Park Court, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46216. We'd be looking, as we indicated at our previous meeting, this is kind of our destination empty nester, and we're probably in the 250s. It's kind of a base point on up, depending on added features buyers will be purchasing, so.
So 250 up to 3 then, in that range.
Yep.
Any other questions?
So Hamilton County's involved because of the overflow from that pond then?
Yeah, they're gonna be outletting directly into a regulated
That's what I
drain in
thought.
Hamilton County, so. And they have already received comments back from the Hamilton County Drainage Board. They're just working with them and all the concerns taken care of.
Yeah. Is there anybody in the audience like to speak on this?
I make a recommendation to accept petition, can't read it. 2020 MSP 001. Presented by Brad Newman.
With the findings, facts, and all the stuff, all the stuff that goes.
Second?
We have a motion and we have a second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Corey Belanger,
Yes.
Tom Shepherd,
Yes.
Beth Van Sickle,
Yes.
John Zimmerman,
Yes.
Mark Carey,
Yes.
David Kane,
Yes.
Wes Lykin.
Yes,
Thank you.
motion passes.
The next item on the agenda is petition 2020-W-006. Property is located at 12178 North State Road 9. It's in Monroe Township and in the District 3 Commissioner District. The owner is Brian Scott Nill and the petitioner is Pamela Nill. The request is a waiver of the public sewer and water requirement in the General Commercial Zone District. Notices were mailed and placed in the newspaper on time. Staff recommends approval of this waiver request. The parcel is located on the east side of State Road 9, approximately 2/10 of a mile north of State Road 28. The subject parcel contains an existing car dealership business called the Auto Ranch. The parcel contains approximately 7.544 acres. There is a regulated drain that crosses through the northern portion of the property, but it will not affect this request. The request is well outside of the regulated drain easement. The property contains 2 detached garages. One's a 528 square foot, the second is a 1,260 square foot building. The 1,260 square foot building, the request is to convert that into a coffee shop. And the anticipated hours of operation would be 6 to 6 Monday through Friday and 6 to 6 on Saturday. They are anticipating up to 4 employees, and the site does have adequate parking for employees and customers. The site does contain a 1,000 gallon septic tank, but they would still need approval from the health department to make sure that that's going to be adequate. On page 2, you'll see the articles within the Land Use and Development Code that pertains to this request. And if this is approved, they will need to acquire an improvement location permit with the state design release. The property is zoned general commercial, and properties to the north, south, and west are also zoned general commercial, and to the east is agricultural. And there's a mixed use between all of those properties of commercial, residential, and agricultural. State Road 9 is identified as an arterial road, and arterial roads have a 100-foot right-of-way, measure 50 feet from the center. Page 4 and 5, you'll see the findings of fact, and the following pictures, or following pages are pictures of the location. If you have any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
So there was a bathroom in that place before? Is that
There's an existing bathroom there now. There's the other building is utilized for the auto sales,
Yeah.
and so they'll just be sharing the bathrooms. It's actually located
It'll still be
between.
there then, okay.
Yep.
And then there's a well on there too, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Brad, what's the proximity of this to Alexandria's commercial development up there, that commercial park they're putting in?
The business park is adjacent to it across the railroad tracks. So it'd be adjacent to the east.
They just don't all turn in.
Do they have sewage up there, water and sewage up there in that development already?
They have taken it into the business park, but they have not ran it along North State Road 9. So the business park, I believe, is completely ready right now. It's move-in ready as soon as somebody wants to get in there. The only thing that we would probably need to do is rezone the property. But other than that, it's good to go.
Is the building still is it qualify for a building, a public building?
I'm sorry?
Has it already been approved for a public building?
Which building?
The building where they're gonna have the coffee shop?
No, that's what they'll have to do. They'll have to get a state design release.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that might take some doing to get that done.
Yeah. It shouldn't be too difficult.
And then can they sell coffee on a well system? With a coffee made from the water well then?
Yeah, they'll be able to.
So Brad, if they already got a septic and well, why they come back here?
Because it's a new business in the general commercial, and any new business in general commercial requires a waiver from sewer and water if they do not have access to public sewer and water.
Any other questions? Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak on this?
Mr. President, I'd make a motion that we accept petition 2020-W-006 in accordance with the staff report and the findings of fact. Make favorable recommendation.
A second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Corey Belander,
Yes.
Tom Shepherd,
Yes.
Beth Van Sickle,
Yes.
John Zimmerman,
Yes.
Mark Gary,
Yes.
David Kane,
Yes.
and Wes Likens.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion passes.
The next item on the agenda is petition 2020-W-007. Property is located at 4341 West 300 South in Stony Creek Township. The owner is Philip and Sarah Holden, and they are also the petitioner. The request is a waiver from the minimum road frontage requirements in the Conservation Residential Zone District. Notices were sent out on time. Property is located on West 300 South, approximately 4/10 of a mile west of 400 West, and contains approximately 6.6 acres. It does contain a single-family dwelling and multiple structures, all built 1899 and 1940. The petitioner would like to split the property and build a new house towards the south end of the property. The petitioner would retain the south 3.1 acres and sell the front 3.5 acres. The barn towards the northwest portion of the property is less than 50 feet from the west property line. And the requirement for the road frontage is 266.98 feet. This would be reducing it to 50 feet. In order to maintain a 50-foot private road, they would need to acquire a portion of their neighbor's property as an easement or obtain part of the property for that. I have indicated on page 2 the articles within the Land Use and Development Code that pertains to this. West 300 South is identified as a collector road. 80-foot right-of-way measured 40 feet from the center. And if this is approved, they will need to go through the administrative plat process, which is also reviewed by the Drainage Board. The property and all surrounding properties are zoned conservation residential, and there's a mixed use of residential and agricultural. On page 4, you'll find the findings of fact, and all subsequent pages, pictures of the property, but I will point out on page 4, or page 8, I'm sorry, is the indication of what the split would look like on the property. That would be the south 3.1 acres. If you have any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Looks like they did almost the same thing right beside it.
Yeah. They are very similar.
Tell me about the easement they have to get from the neighbor.
The barn itself is closer than 50 feet to the edge of their property line, so they're not going to be able to maintain a 50-foot wide private road back, or a 50-foot wide strip, which is required. That's the minimum in the ordinance for any splits. So in order to maintain that, they'll need to acquire additional ground to the neighbor, which, according to the surveyor, they were in discussions in getting that done.
So this would be contingent upon that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Either that or the barn would need to be tore down in order to make it work.
Who owns the barn now?
They do.
They do.
So they could give themselves an easement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have several options with this.
Yeah.
They'll-
Anybody else? Anybody in the audience want to speak on this? Go ahead. Come on up, just tell us your name and address, please.
My name's Edward Alvey. I live at 4427 West, 300 South. I'm the property owner in question, and I've already told them that I would give them 2 more feet just so they could get their right of way. I mean, you hate to lose good neighbors, and that's not a big deal right there.
Right.
Like you said, I've got similar situation, and their house is gonna be straight east of mine, so I mean, in line there pretty much. So I don't have a problem with it, and we've already said that we can work that out with no problem, so.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Mr. President, with that being said, I'd like to make a favorable recommendation on petition 2020-W-007, based on the finding of the facts from the staff.
We have a motion.
Second.
We got a second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Corey Billander,
Yes.
Beth Van Sickle,
Yes.
John Zimmerman,
Yes.
Mark Gary,
Yes.
David Kane,
Yes?
and Wes Lightfoot.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The last item on the agenda is petition 2020-W-008. Property is located at 9968 North State Road 37 in Pipe Creek Township. It's the District 3 Commissioner. The owner is Kevin Softwater, and the petitioner is Robert Price. The request is a waiver of the public sewer and water requirement in the general commercial zone district, and notices were mailed out on time. The subject parcel is located on the south side of North State Road 37, approximately 1,000 feet southwesterly of the intersection of North State Road 13 and North State Road 37. The subject parcel does contain an existing business. Total property contains 3.772 acres, and the petitioner has an agreement to purchase the southwest 2 acres of the subject parcel. The parcel is completely wooded. The petitioner would like to construct an 88 by 50 foot, 4,400 square foot pole barn style building with a concrete slab floor. Employee parking would be on the south end of the building, and the business would be a car lot and auto body repair shop. On page 2, in the top of page 3, you can see the articles within the Land Use and Development Code that pertain to this particular request. And there are several additional requirements if this was to be approved. Actually, I have that mislabeled. Those were conditions, or not conditions, but I'm sorry, got a little confused here. There are additional requirements. The site development plan process, which requires drainage board approval. The improvement location permit with the state design release. They will need to put in a type 3 buffer yard between the south property line and the houses to the southeast, because there is a different zoning, and that different zoning does require that buffer yard. The improvement location permit may not be obtained until stormwater infrastructure that's required by the drainage board is constructed, and the planning department, of course, receives in writing that the installation of the stormwater infrastructure is completed and in accordance with the plans. And the ILP may not be obtained until IDEM permits are obtained for the purposes of water quality. They will need to put in some infrastructure to deal with that. And of course, a health department will need to approve the septic system. State Road 37 North is an arterial road. Right of way is 100 feet, measure 50 feet from the center. Subject parcel is zoned general commercial. To the north, property is zoned light industrial. To the south, single family residential R1 and general commercial. Same as to the east. And to the west, light industrial and single family residential. There is a mixed use of commercial and residential along this area. On page 5, you'll see page 5 and 6, you'll see the findings of fact for this request. And the following pages are pictures of the development. But on page 7 or page 9, you can see the entire parcel itself. And page 10 will show the portion that's to be split out, or the request to be split out. If you have any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Would you remind us what the type 3 buffer, what does that amount to?
They have to add an additional 25 feet in addition to the existing building setback. They then have a choice of a 3-foot tall brick or wood fence or a 3-foot tall mound. And then they need to put a row of, I always get this part messed up, of canopy trees. I think it's every 30 feet. I'd have to look to be absolutely certain, and then also a row of evergreens.
I think a long way to go before this is all done.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of doing. How extensive is that IDEM part of the permit, or the requirement?
Well, they'll just have to put in a separator to separate all the oils, grease, and any other condiments that get in that goes down the drain.
I
That
got
has to be separated out before it can go into a stream or waterway. There's all sorts of structures, different types that can be utilized for that.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of the beginning for them.
It is. And the petitioner isn't here.
Does anybody want to speak on this?
Can we even vote on that if they're not here?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Based on the evidence that you presented, we can pass it then, we can table it, and ask them to come back at the next meeting. Completely up to the commission, if they want to hear more from the landowners, the table would probably be the right course of action. But if you're happy with the staff report, we got
Yeah.
the session.
There's plenty of requirements in there that they gotta do before they're gonna get it done, so.
Yeah, that, and you hate to slow down somebody who wants to start a business.
Yeah, right.
So, well, if there's no more questions, we can do a motion.
I'll move that we accept the petition 2020 W008, according to findings and facts and additional requirements.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Mark. We have a motion and a second. Do we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Corey Billander,
Yes.
Beth Van Sickle,
Yes.
John Zimmerman,
Yes.
Mark Geary,
Yes.
David King,
Yes.
and Wes Lykin.
Yes.
Thank
Motion
you.
passes. Thank you. Seems like I got a lot of questions answered, yeah, but for us, we
I
got
got a
a
lot of
little
work on that one.
How it goes. All right, Brad, do we have any other business?
Yeah, there's a question at the beginning of the meeting regarding where we are at the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan is ready for commissioner approval. It has been on the agenda a couple of times, but it was never voted on. And then, of course, through the with COVID going on, we haven't got it back on the agenda as of yet. So we'll certainly work on getting that done and see if we can get approval from the Board of Commissioners. But the favorable recommendation was already passed along by this board, so that's the last step.
Are you aware of any discussion that's been had on it
I am
at
not.
that level?
How about the solar panel?
Still working on that ordinance. Was hoping to have it for you guys to see today, but I'm not there yet.
Your moratorium request, you put in favor, it became ordinance. The commissioners did not take action on it, and so after, when was that? July, something or other, it became effectively an ordinance despite the commissioners not approving.
Well, their attorney seems to think it's a 90-day wait.
Okay.
If it's a 90-day wait, then that puts it at what, October?
Okay. I'll confirm.
If that's
It is
true.
what it is. We've
Yeah.
done all we can do.
Yeah.
And that's just for the moratorium part of it, right?
Yeah, it was back in front of the commissioners a couple weeks ago, and they refused to make a motion on it. So. At last month's meeting, there was a question regarding where we were at with attorney fees.
Yes.
We currently have a balance, well, we should have a balance of $389.49, but it's my understanding that one of the claims that we had sent was not paid last night. So that was a $5,188 claim. So we currently are in arrears. Where's my sheet on that? $9,750.18. That's assuming that $5,000 invoice was paid. Including that invoice would put us over $14,000 that we owe. I do have a request to go in front of the county council at the next county council meeting, requesting additional funds to get everything paid up and hopefully get enough to get us through the rest of the year, but I have my doubts that they'll approve that.
I know last month, sounds like, I thought that was all gonna go through, being approved. Lisa seemed to think it would.
Oh, I think they'll approve the, paying what we owe currently, but I doubt if they give any excess funds.
Oh,
They'll
I
probably
see.
have me come back when the additional invoices
I
come in.
understand.
That makes sense.
That or a bake sale.
Yeah, we could do that.
And one last thing, there are classes for the American Citizen Planner. It's classes to help any new BZA members or Planning Commission members or existing members that just want to get a little bit better understanding of the law. I'll shoot out an email with regard to this to everybody so you'll have all the information. And that's all I have.
Anybody else have any questions today? Comments?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion, second? I'll second that. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Meeting adjourned.
Brad, on that American Citizen thing, do they have me listed as a host?